So good morning friends, welcome to Raj Malhotra IAS. So guys, here we are about to start the session. So the PDF for today's session will be uploaded on our Telegram group. You can download the PDF. So here we are about to start. Mohit, Prati Sharma, Vivek, Pooja, Sangram, Dhaka, good morning. So let's start the session. So the PDF for today's session has been uploaded on our Telegram group. You can download the PDF. Yash Kumar, Vande Matram. Okay. Chaliye. So let's start the session with this particular statement, which was given by none other than Confucius. Okay. Now, he was a Chinese thinker and he said that a great man is hard on himself and a small man is hard on others. Now, you can easily figure it out. You can see people shouting at others. Okay. So if the boss is shouting at you, boss अपने subordinates के ऊपर shout कर रहा है, ठीक है ना? So it shows that he is just a small man. Rather, the great man is hard on himself means that great man is going to take the leadership, because giving leadership, doing things first, it is the painful task. जो चीज आप पहले करते हो वो पेनफुल टास्क होता है. दिस इज द पॉइंट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड. That's the painful task. So this angle has to be explored. This angle has to be explored. Okay. Now there are other things as well. Great man is hard on himself, small man is hard on others. People will shout on others. Okay. Great men will take the leadership. Great men will do the things on their own. That's the angle. And great men, you can easily figure it out. They don't have issues like anger. They have complete no anger. They have, you can say, complete self-control. Okay. They have complete self-control. And when you have complete self-control, it means that those individuals are emotionally very intelligent. Okay. So they do have emotional intelligence as well. So it is really important that in life we need to control ourselves and we need to control our reaction as well. You should be able to understand what others' point of view. You need to look it from their own perspective. Okay, you have to be compassionate towards others. Then only you will be making them work. तभी आप उनसे काम करवा पाओगे, ठीक है ना? If you are unnecessarily hard on others, it is not going to produce results for you. And rather, I would say in this scenario, those individuals, those leaders who are hard on others, okay, who are hard on others, they may not be effective. They are not effective in their life. That's for sure. ये बिल्कुल proven है. So you have to be very calculated. You need to understand things that unnecessarily if someone is getting hard on others, it is not going to produce the desired result. Desired result उस केस में नहीं आएगा. That's the important point you have to understand. So this was what this particular, you can say, quote was explaining. Now let's start the newspaper. Let's see what exactly is there. So here we have Manik Saha replaces Biplab as the Tripura CM. Okay, so this is the political news. Definitely change of leadership was expected. Okay, because like elections will be there, assembly elections will be there in 2023. So this is the strategy which is followed by the BJP, that you change the leadership. Okay, and it was found that there was some law and order issue which was reported in Tripura. थोड़ा बहुत law and order का गड़बड़ हो गया था in the recent some of the days. Okay, now right now BJP is trying to, you can say, change the leadership, and we have to still wait and watch whether it will be effective or not. So ये सी चीज चलती है यहाँ पे, ठीक है ना. And this also shows that even in BJP, party like BJP, there is some high command culture. That this high command, the instruction has come from the top, not from the state legislature. Okay, not from the state legislature. So this is what you have to understand, that even in political party like BJP, the state leaders, they don't enjoy that much autonomy. That's the point here, ठीक है ना. So we have to still wait and watch क्या होगा आगे. So let's move to the next particular news. Now back to the drawing board on role of Chief of Defense Staff. Okay, so this was one of the most important, you can say, reforms that was carried out in the armed forces. So there were multiple, you can say, committees which have recommended the formation of Chief of Defense Staff. You have Kargil War Review Committee. Okay, Kargil War Review Committee, they also recommended the same thing. You have Shaketkar Committee, ठीक है ना, it also recommended that there should be a Chief of Defense Staff, and respectively the present government, they came out with this particular Chief of Defense Staff position. Okay, now there are some problems with this, problems in the sense that it has been observed that there is some overlapping, थोड़ी बहुत overlapping है. Okay, so I will explain that. So at present you have Navy Chief, आपके यहाँ पे Navy Chief हैं. Okay, so like you have Air Force representative, okay, Air Force head, and then you have Army. Now the point is this, it has been observed that they are also working, okay, and CDS is also working. So it was observed that there was some sort of overlapping over the functioning of these particular individuals who are there, and all of them are equally important. It is not like that one is important and other is not. This is what you have to understand. So right now, as these overlappings were observed, so your government is taking some time. They want to reform this particular problem that was existing. Okay, so that's why, like, union government is reassessing the concept of post of Chief of Defense Staff and the Department of Military Affairs to fix the overlaps in the system. Okay, so that's why it is taking some time, and after General Bipin Rawat, other CDS has not been appointed. इनके जाने के बाद कोई दूसरा CDS अपॉइंट नहीं हुआ है, ठीक है ना. The reason I have already told you, that government is still, trying to fix some issues that are there, and all this is leading to the delay in appointment to this particular post. Okay, now you need to understand one thing. Like, here there is another angle that we have to explore. Okay, here there is another angle that we have to explore, that who is having the real power, Okay, now you need to understand Chief of Defense Staff, definitely it has some advisory role. ये advisory role भी आएगा इनका, ठीक है ना. Apart from that, it was also suggested that Chief of Defense Staff, okay, all government has also introduced something called integrated command groups. Okay, integrated command groups, that these integrated command groups will be formed by officials coming from Air Force, Army, Navy, भी इन तीनों के साथ में मिलके लड़ने के लिए एक integrated command groups बनाए जाएंगे. Okay, integrated theater commands. So it was also proposed that commanders of these integrated theater commands, they will report to CDS. Okay, जो ये integrated theater command होंगे, उनके जो commander होंगे वो जो है आपके CDS को report करेंगे. Now whether that is in action, क्या वो place में आ चुका है, we have to still wait and watch. Okay, because things are not clear yet. अभी तक चीजें clear नहीं हैं. And apart from that, there was a proposal as well that one CDS was from Army, General Bipin Rawat was from Army, and Air Force and Navy, they are also expecting that their officials will also get the chance to work as a CDS. ओके तो अब ये चीज भी एक्सपेक्टेड है. नाउ देयर वाज अ प्रपोजल दैट द CDS शुड बी मेड rotatory, okay, that on a rotation based you will have this particular post to be taken over by or to be you can say manned by navy officials, air force official. ऐसा हम कर सकते हैं, ठीक है ना. तो ये जो है चीजें अभी तक डिसाइडेड नहीं है, वी हैव टू वेट एंड वॉच. सो विक्की गौतम यादव आस्किंग सर व्हाट इज द फील्ड मार्शल, प्लीज गिव सम इंफॉर्मेशन. ओके सो आई वुड लाइक टू टेल यू वन थिंग. So there are 4-star generals, okay. Normally there are 4-star generals, and when you talk about field marshal, so field marshal is a 5-star general, okay. And field marshal never retires. Field marshal never retires. So it's an honorary, you can say, position given to the remarkable generals who have performed really well, okay, who have outstanding record. So right now General Cariappa Field Marshal Cariappa and Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw, so those have been awarded this 5-star status, okay. So ये चीज आपको मालूम होनी चाहिए, ठीक है ना. So normally in service you have 4-star generals, but here we have a 5-star field marshal, okay. Here we have 5-star field marshal. So this is also the point that should be known to you, okay. Now we'll move to the next part. आगे चलते हैं, देखते हैं और क्या है. So this is what they are saying. They are saying that CDS, the mandate of CDS includes bringing about jointness in operations, logistics, transport, training, support service, maintenance of 3 services, etc., etc., etc. Okay. Currently CDS does not have an operational role. Means वो खुद कोई operational role नहीं कर पाएंगे. Okay. This is what is there right now. It is also proposed that theater commands that are to be appointed, they will report to him. जो भी theater command हम बनाएंगे वो जो है इनको report करेंगी, ठीक है ना. This is what is expected. This is what is expected. So we'll move to the next part. आगे चलते हैं, देखते हैं और क्या खास है यहाँ पे. Okay. So here we have this news on some statements made by Chief Justice of India. Okay. So we'll look into that. So here we are. Now denial of justice would lead to anarchy. So this is the problem. You need to understand, look at the pendency of cases. Now there are crores of cases, nearly 3 crore cases pending in multiple courts. So this is the major problem, okay. Now when you have pendency of cases, it means that justice is denied, justice is delayed, and we know that justice delayed is justice denied, okay. Now what are the reasons? Why do we have the pendency of cases? Reasons are manifold, okay. So we will address one by one, एक एक करके सबको देखेंगे. So pendency of cases, one is linked to the shortage of infrastructure, okay, plus manpower, मतलब judges नहीं है आपके पास यहाँ पे. This is the reason. Next is that the legal system is very complex. So the laws that we are framing, they are very complex. They are, you can say, arbitrarily made. Their wordings are not clear. That's why each and every time the interpretation is difficult and the cases are filed in judiciary. तो जिनका इंटरप्रिटेशन डिफिकल्ट है तो इसलिए केसेस को जुडिशरी के अंदर फाइल किया जाएगा, कोर्ट में फाइल किया जाएगा. दैट्स द प्रॉब्लमेटिक थिंग, ठीक है ना. वो एक रीजन है. Other thing is directly linked to the appointments. Now it has been seen in multiple courts the appointments are delayed. काफी ज्यादा डिले होता है यहाँ पे. Even if the collegium is going to, you can say, come out with the recommendation, अगर collegium यहाँ पे recommendation दे भी देता है, still there are issues at the government end. वहाँ पे चीजें clear नहीं होती हैं. So मामले लटकते रहते हैं and courts are without the judges. That's the problem which is existing. So we have to improve all these things. इन सारी चीजों को हमें improve करना है. Then only we will be able to deal with this crisis. Okay. So Chief Justice of India is saying that denial of justice would ultimately lead to anarchy, because if people of this country, they will not get justice, they will try to take, if not justice, people will try to take law in their own hands. Okay. They will try to take law in their own hands. and that's the point. And they may also move to extrajudicial mechanisms. That is going to be problematic. जब एक्स्ट्रा जुडिशियल मैकेनिज्म की तरफ लोग जाएंगे, इट विल लीड टू anarchy, and finally it is not good for democracy. So this is the important point that the Chief Justice of India has pointed. So it is important that we have to work on improving our court infrastructure. बिल्कुल हमें वो चीज़ करनी है. Okay, you have to make sure that the justice delivery is speedy. Justice आप जो है speedy तरीके से deliver कीजिए. Okay, this is what is required. This is what is required. Now we'll move to the next part. Next is regarding this particular news. Okay, experts wary of sleeper cell in Punjab. So there are some intelligence reports which are saying that the disturbance elements, the terrorist groups which are existing in Punjab, they are testing the waters. Okay, they are first testing the waters, that how strong the government is going to act. ठीक है ना, अभी वो ये जानने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. सो दिस इज हाउ द सिचुएशन इज राइट नाउ. Definitely security arrangements have to be, you can say, looked into. So we'll move to the next part. Next news is regarding this particular part. Okay, now Indian government prohibits export of wheat with immediate effect. So this is what is the latest development. The reason that was given, that they want that domestic supply should not be impacted. Okay, so I would like to tell you one thing. It has been observed there has been increase in prices by 40% this year, because the major exporters of wheat, Russia and Ukraine, okay, they both are major exporters of wheat, and they both are indulged in war. दोनों की दोनों war लड़ रहे हैं. Okay, so that's why it was expected from India that whatever shortfall is there, India will, you can say, provide the wheat to the world. Now the problem with this, in the current season, okay, जो आज का season हुआ है, it has been observed that the wheat production has been less by 5 to 7%. So whatever wheat production was there in last year, it has been reduced to 5 to 7%. The reason was that, okay, because of the intensive heat that is going on. तो इस साल जो है काफ़ी गर्मी पड़ी है, specifically in the month of April, and which has led to the lesser production of wheat. This is the point. This is the reason. Okay, this is the reason why there is a shortage of wheat, and this is why we cannot compromise on our domestic food security. तो आप अपनी domestic food security के ऊपर compromise नहीं कर सकते हो. Okay, now with this particular development, as government has introduced the ban of export, the traders are not happy with this. Okay, traders are not happy with this. So they were saying that like earlier government set a target. पहले जो government ने target set किया था कि this year we are going to export more wheat, but randomly they have imposed this restriction. So the traders are saying that then why you were talking about, you can say, improving the target. तो पहले आपने टारगेट क्यों इंप्रूव किया था? टारगेट इंप्रूव ना करते कोई प्रॉब्लम ना होती. ओके, सो दिस इज द थिंग दैट इज गोइंग ऑन राइट नाउ. So majorly global prices are increasing. This is the reason why we are trying to sort it out things at the domestic level. So we'll move to the next part now. Now Gorang writes to Mamta on GTA power ahead of polls. Okay. So Gorkhaland Territorial Administration, so they are demanding that some additional power should be given to them. This is what you need to understand. So as you can see it in the picture, so this is the area. Okay, this is termed as Gorkhaland, as this area is primarily having the Gurkha population. So they are demanding that some more power should be given to the Gorkhaland Territorial Administration. Okay, so GTA को थोड़ी और power दी जानी चाहिए. So as it was promised earlier. So we have also known this particular fact that few years back there was a movement that was quite active, which was demanding a separate state of Gorkhaland. Okay, so there has been a demand which was there related to separate state of Gorkhaland. So ये एक डिमांड थी जो पहले की गई थी. So we have to still figure it out whether it will be, you can say, the demand was definitely not, you can say, accepted, and the arrangement was made that there will be a GTA which will be formed. So that GTA will be a sort of a governing body for this particular area. इस area के अंदर ये GTA लगेगा, and this will have certain powers. Okay, it will be allowed to function in an autonomous manner. To some extent these GTAs, they are going to have some autonomous powers regarding multiple subjects of governance. Okay, so ये arrangement यहाँ पे किया गया था, ठीक है ना. So this was done. Now we'll move to the next part. Quad initiative for vaccines runs into rough weather. Okay, so earlier itself it was on rough weather. Why do we say that? Because you remember second wave of corona, okay, in India. Now, as soon as the second wave of corona impacted India, there was a realization that first we have to be domestically strong. तब बात करो आप वैक्सीन को एक्सपोर्ट करने की या वैक्सीन को फ्री में देने की. So by that time itself it was realized that still first you have to deal with the domestic problems, and that's why there was an impact, and on the time in time we were not able to provide vaccines. तो इंडिया क्योंकि एक मेजर प्लेयर था, it was expected that India will manufacture vaccine at a large pace, and that vaccine will be given under the you can say the banner of Quad vaccine. But right now the problem is this: earlier हम दे नहीं पाए, and right now there are different things. Okay, there are different things that are there. So right now things are different. Now the production of Johnson and Johnson jab in India stalled over indemnity and safety issue, while Corbevax awaits WHO nod. So more than a year after the first Quad summit, where the leaders of US, India, Japan, they launched the ambitious initiative of this vaccine, COVID-19 vaccine, and distribute in the Indo-Pacific region, that idea is now not working. So there are multiple reasons, बहुत सारे reasons हैं उसके लिए. Okay, so I already told you about this point that it has been we are quite late. Okay, हम बहुत late हो चुके हैं, ठीक है ना. So ये चीज समझनी है यहाँ पे. Okay, so now there was also an oversupply of vaccine in Southeast Asia and other regions. Other countries are also there. China is also exporting and providing vaccine. Okay, so other Western countries have also, you can say, providing. They are also providing vaccine. The vaccine was also provided under the, you can say, flag of WHO. So all this led to the oversupply of vaccine. अब इतनी ज़्यादा oversupply हो गई कि इतनी demand ही नहीं है कि आप अलग से अब Quad vaccine निकाल के उसे दो, ठीक है ना. So this is the important point that you have to understand. So ये एक important चीज़ है जो यहाँ पे हमें समझनी है, ठीक है ना. So we have to still wait and watch. हमारा आइडिया तो फेल हो गया, अब इसके अलावा कुछ और करना पड़ेगा, so that you can say Quad will remain relevant in the international affairs. Already we have seen that thirst has gone down. Okay, जो है कहीं ना कहीं thirst जो है वो कम हो गया है. So people are asking that so Quad, this idea was first proposed by Shinzo Abe. Okay, so Shinzo Abe, who was the former Prime Minister of Japan, okay, he proposed this idea. So this was his vision. He said that like there can be a diamond of democracy that can be formed, and later the members of Quad can be increased. Apart from that, I would like to tell you the initiation of Quad has its vision, okay, in the activity that was carried out by Navy, Indian Navy, Australian Navy, Japanese Navy, and US Navy during the relief work, okay, to handle the tsunami. I hope you remember there was major tsunami in Indian Ocean. So at that time, the navies of India, Australia, Japan, US, they worked as a team. ये साथ में मिलके इन्होंने काम किया. And this led to the formation of this idea that, okay, for the disaster management and other activities, if the navies can work together, why can't we can explore the ties specifically so that our geopolitical interests can be aligned. कि भी इन्होंने सोचा कि हमारे सबके geopolitical interest align हो जाएंगे, and that's why there comes the idea of Quad. Okay, so I would like to tell you one thing. ये सब politics चलती है. Now this idea of Quad formation का idea 2008 में बना. Okay, things went ahead. Majorly by 2011 there was North Korea crisis. Okay, North Korea crisis, it means right now to handle North Korea, US needed help of China. Okay, US needed China's help. ठीक है जी. So at that time, US was requiring China's help. So US was not serious about Quad. वहां पे US Quad को लेके इतनी seriousness नहीं दिखाता है. Later years, we have seen there was a major rise of China. After, you can say, 2011, it was observed China is getting assertive. China और ज़्यादा assertive हो गया. At that time, it was thought that okay, now this is the time we have to work upon Quad. तो US अब Quad को strengthen करने पे लग जाता है. This is how it is. So you should be knowing this. There is a military exercise called Malabar military exercise. Okay, this Malabar military exercise was earlier just confined to India and US. Later on, in 2014, Japan also joined it. Okay, so after bilateral, it became a trilateral. And in 2019 onwards, Australia has also joined it. So right now, this Malabar exercise is a multilateral exercise. So all these developments are taking place. All these developments are taking place. And right now, there is also a debate that with formation of AUKUS, okay, the focus on Quad has gone down. So there are some experts which are saying that after the formation of AUKUS, the role of Quad has gone down. So all these debates are going on. All these debates are going on. ठीक है ना? So ये सारी debate यहाँ पे चल रही है. Okay. We have to wait and watch what the future is going to be. Already there are some ideas that are proposed and people are saying that we need to work upon Quad Plus. भाई ये Quad Plus बना दो. Quad Plus में क्या होगा? Other like-minded countries like Vietnam, South Korea, okay, they can also be offered membership. इनको भी member बनाया जा सकता है. So all this game is going on. ठीक है ना? So Hemareddy Adagimini, I hope your doubt has been addressed. चलिए. So let's move to the next part now. आगे चलते हैं. So here the Sheikh Mohammed named UAE is president. Okay, so this is the development that is taking place. It's good for India because already we are enjoying warm equation with him. ठीक है ना? So apart from that, Russia pulls back from Kharkiv. Fighting continues in the east. Okay, so there are some alarming things that are coming out and which are not good for Russia. रशिया के लिए थोड़ी अच्छी न्यूज़ नहीं आ रही है. ओके, रिसेंटली आई गॉट अ नोटिफिकेशन विच सेज दैट व्लादिमीर पुतिन हैज़ ब्लड कैंसर. पुतिन को ब्लड कैंसर है. ठीक है ना? पुतिन को ब्लड कैंसर है एंड ही इज़ वेरी सीरियस. एट प्रेजेंट ही इज़ वेरी सीरियस. ओके, so this is what is there. This is what is there right now. So things are not turning good for Russia. Already their economy will be impacted. Okay, at the war end as well, there are some developments that are taking place. So Ukrainian forces now, they have taken back Kharkiv region. It means that they have been able to force the Russian forces out. वहाँ से निकाल दिया है इन्होंने. Okay, and the defense minister of Ukraine, he's saying that this war is entering a new phase and this is going to be a long-term war. There are people who are saying that the war may go on for 1 year. By August, it is going to take some decisive, you can say, turn. काफी decisive turn ये लेगा. And they are saying that by the year end, the war will continue and it may develop in the defeat of Russia. So all these developments are taking place right now. तो पूरी ये development एक चीज तरीके से चल रही है. ठीक है ना? So ये सारी चीजें हैं जो यहाँ आ रही हैं. Okay, Kiev's head of military, he has told the UK Sky News that by August it is going to be a breaking point and defeat of Russia will be there by end. Okay, by year's end. So all this depends on the support that they are going to get from West. ये सब उस पर डिपेंड करता है. यूएस कितना सपोर्ट करता है, यूरोप कितना सपोर्ट करता है. ठीक है ना? सो दिस इज द लेटेस्ट डेवलपमेंट दैट इज टेकिंग प्लेस हियर. सो विल मूव टू द नेक्स्ट पार्ट हियर. आगे चलते हैं, देखते हैं यहाँ पे. ओके, फर्स्ट स्टेप इन ट्रीटिंग सम न्यूरो degenerative disorders. Okay, so there are some findings. So in this particular news article, so the researchers, okay, they have some findings and we are going to note down few things which are important for our prelims. Now before this, just have a look over this prelims 2016 question. So basically they are asking that the term transcriptome sometimes seems to be in news, it refers to? So the answer is the full range of mRNA molecule expressed by an organism. Okay, this was this answer. Now it means that mRNA was already, you can say, looked upon by UPSC. So it is important that if we are getting some information regarding mRNA, okay, so we should know that. So those who don't know, there are like mRNAs, there are some tRNAs, there are some mRNAs. Okay, so mRNAs are basically messengers, tRNAs are the transporters. Okay, तो ये हमें मालूम होना चाहिए, ठीक है ना. mRNA जो है messengers होते हैं जो information पास करते हैं. So right now there are some developments. So researchers at Indian Institute of Sciences, they have identified a protein in yeast. Okay, yeast cell के अंदर उन्होंने एक protein identify किया है that dissolves the RNA protein complexes, also known as RNA granules. So these RNA granules are there. Okay, उनको dissolve करने के लिए जो है हमारे पास कुछ आरएनए कुछ प्रोटीन है जो यीस्ट से मिलते हैं और वो जो है आरएनए प्रोटीन को डिसॉल्व कर देते हैं. नाउ दीज फाइंडिंग्स आर रियली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज इट विल हेल्प अस इन यू कैन से फाइंडिंग अ क्योर फॉर मैनी न्यूरोडीजेनरेटिव डिसऑर्डर्स सच एज एम्योट्रोफिक लेटरल स्क्लेरोसिस एंड फ्रंटोटेम्पोरल डिमेंशिया. फ्रंटोटेम्पोरल डिमेंशिया और एम्योट्रोफिक लेटरल स्क्लेरोसिस का जो सॉल्यूशन है वो यहाँ पे आएगा. सो यू हैव टू नोट इट डाउन. अब आप इसको नोट डाउन कर लो दैट दीज टू डिजीज कैन बी क्योर्ड बाय द फाइंडिंग्स दैट वी हैव दैट द इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ साइंसेज हैव गैदर्ड. Now they are saying that these neurodegenerative disorders, they are characterized by accumulation of aggregates that resemble RNA granules. अब ये कहते हैं कि जब ये डिसऑर्डर होता है तो वहां पे आरएनए ग्रेन्यूल्स जैसे कुछ कंपाउंड्स इकट्ठे हो जाते हैं, जरूरत से ज्यादा हो जाते हैं, बिकॉज ऑफ दैट दिस डिसऑर्डर टेक प्लेस. सो विद द हेल्प ऑफ दिस प्रोटीन विच दे आर गोइंग टू गेट फ्रॉम द यीस्ट सेल, यीस्ट के सेल से जो है एक तरीके से ये प्रोटीन निकाला जाएगा, दे विल बी एबल टू डिसइंटीग्रेट द आरएनए ग्रेन्यूल्स. तो जो एक्स्ट्रा आरएनए ग्रेन्यूल्स हमारे यहाँ पे हैं उनको डीजनरेट किया जाएगा, डिसइंटीग्रेट किया जाएगा, हटाया जाएगा. ओके, सो द स्टडी फाउंड दैट दिस प्रोटीन हेल्प्स इन रिड्यूसिंग द एग्रीगेट्स ऑफ ह्यूमन प्रोटीन्स इन्वॉल्व्ड इन न्यूरोडीजेनरेटिव डिसऑर्डर्स. ओके, then the next step is to experimentally test the effect of repeat sequences in genetically engineered mice. So initially वहां पे चलाया जाएगा इसे and later on it can be said that it can be applicable to humans. So this is what is going on right now, and in this particular development there are some other valuable information that we have to know. Now if you look into the cell structure, okay, so there are messenger RNAs, okay, and there is also a protein known as RNA granules that are existing there. Unlike the other structures in the cells such as mitochondria, RNA granules are not covered and confined by membrane. ये आप note down कर लो कि भी they are not covered and confined by membranes. This is the point. Okay, this is the point. This makes them highly dynamic, easily जो है वो exchange कर रहे हैं information, बाहर interact कर रहे हैं environment के साथ because the membrane is not existing. So this is how it goes on. That's why it makes them quite dynamic. These RNA granules are present in cytoplasm at the lower number. Normal condition के अंदर ये जो RNA granules होते हैं ये काफी lower number में होते हैं. But when there are under stress, when your cell is under stress, आपका कोई cell अगर stress के अंदर आएगा, in that situation the numbers of RNA granules are going to increase, and as these numbers are going to increase it will lead to some disease. फिर वहां से बीमारियां पैदा होती हैं. Okay, it will lead to some disease. So this is the information that you should know. So messenger RNAs are converted to protein by the process of translation. ठीक है नहीं? RNA granules determine messenger RNA's fate by deciding when and how much protein will be produced from mRNA. कि mRNA से कितना प्रोटीन निकलेगा और कैसे निकलेगा, that decision is taken दैट इज डिटरमाइंड बाय आरएनए ग्रेन्यूल्स। तो आरएनए ग्रेन्यूल्स का ये काम है हमारे यहाँ पे, ठीक है ना, दैट इट इज गोइंग टू डिसाइड हाउ एंड हाउ मच अमाउंट, okay, the protein is going to be produced from mRNA. So all this information needs to be known to you. तो ये सारी information आपके पास होनी चाहिए, ठीक है ना, that by reducing the number of RNA, you can say RNA granules, we will be able to deal with some of the disorders. तो कुछ एक जो disorder है उनको हम deal कर पाएंगे, okay. This is the news that is there, this is the news that is there, okay. Apart from that there is nothing much, कुछ खास नहीं है. So we'll move to the next part now. Okay. So this article you can read it on your own. Biomaterial from fungal extract helps to heal wounds. Okay. So this is how this particular, you can say, biomaterial that we have got. The biomaterial is derived from the polymer pullulan, which is secreted by the fungus. Okay. Oreobacidin pullulan. Okay. So this part should be known to you. तो ये हमें मालूम होना चाहिए, ठीक है ना. सो दिस इज बेसिकली अ पॉलीमरेज चेन रिएक्शन ऑफ ग्लूकोज. इफ यू टॉक अबाउट प्यूलिन के अंदर भी पॉलीमरेज चेन रिएक्शन होती है ग्लूकोज की, ओके. सो इस तरीके से एग्जिस्ट करता है. लाइक दिस पर्टिकुलर बायोमटेरियल इज गोइंग टू हेल्प अस इन हीलिंग द वुंड्स. तो जो वुंड्स हैं उनको हील करने में ये काफ़ी हेल्प करता है, ठीक है ना. सो दिस इज द इंफॉर्मेशन दैट शुड बी नोन टू यू. नाउ विल मूव टू द नेक्स्ट पार्ट. Next part is regarding this news, okay. Call of port. Now in the recent, you can say, visit by our external affairs minister S Jaishankar to Bangladesh, the prime minister of Bangladesh has offered that Chittagong port can be used by northeastern state. So here we have this Chittagong port, and primarily it can be used by Tripura and Mizoram. Now normally if you see the connectivity that is there, अगर हम connectivity को देखें हमारी, so right now it takes nearly say 1800 kilometers from Kolkata to Tripura or Mizoram, because you have to pass through the Chicken's Neck, okay. So Chicken's Neck से हमें pass out होना पड़ता है, जिसको बोलते हैं सिलीगुड़ी कॉरिडोर. That particular route is very, you can say, very long, बहुत ही लंबा रास्ता है. So here you have a shorter route which is available, and the Bangladesh is saying that they are ready to offer the services of Chittagong port to Tripura and Mizoram. Now this is really a good development in the sense it is in line with the policy which is there, which is followed by India. One thing is that we have neighborhood first policy, okay. So it means that if Bangladesh is offering something like this, okay, so it means we are strengthening our trust and bond on each other. हम एक दूसरे के साथ bond अपना strengthen कर रहे हैं, एक दूसरे के साथ trust अपना strengthen कर रहे हैं. This is one part. Other angle is that we also have the policy called Act East policy, okay. So this can be explored, that it can provide us connectivity not only to the northeast part of India but to the rest of the world, okay, rest of the eastern region. तो ये चीज एक कनेक्टिविटी हम एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हैं. अदर पार्ट इज दिस, दैट इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द नॉर्थ ईस्ट एरिया एज वेल. तो नॉर्थ ईस्ट की डेवलपमेंट की अगर हम बात करें, नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट्स की, फ्रॉम दैट पर्सपेक्टिव एज वेल, दिस इज रियली गुड डेवलपमेंट, ओके. ये जो कनेक्टिविटी का है एंगल, ये बहुत ही बेहतरीन डेवलपमेंट है, ठीक है ना. सो दीज इश्यूज आर देयर, दीज पर्टिकुलर थिंग्स आर देयर, and definitely we have to welcome this development, okay. So majorly Meghalaya, Mizoram, Tripura, they are going to benefit out of it. इस चीज़ से इनको काफ़ी benefit होगा. If we want to provide some, you can say, coal भी अगर आपको provide करना है, then that coal can also be, you can say, transported from the mainland India to the Tripura, okay, through that Chittagong port area. तो वो चीज़ भी की जा सकती है, ठीक है ना. So this is what we can explore, and it's a welcome thing if they are offering us something, okay. तो काफ़ी अच्छा हमारे लिए एक अपॉर्चुनिटी है. So if we start with this idea, so in other areas as well it can be replicated. बाकी areas में भी जो है ये replicate हो पाएगा, ठीक है ना. Already like Prime Minister of two countries, they inaugurated the Maitri Setu. This was a bridge which was built on Feni River. तो Feni River के ऊपर Maitri Setu बना था, okay. तो वो भी हमने inaugurate किया है हमारे Prime Ministers ने. So it is further a good step. तो ये काफ़ी अच्छा स्टेप होगा. जो हमें मालूम होना चाहिए, ठीक है ना. सो यू कैन ऑल्सो एक्सप्लोर कनेक्टिविटी टू द अदर पार्ट्स ऑफ द नॉर्थ ईस्ट. वाई जस्ट अबाउट त्रिपुरा मिजोरम, बाकी जगहों पे भी ये एक्सप्लोर हम कर सकते हैं. So this is what the development is all about. So we'll move to the next news. Next news is this: why are India's foreign exchange reserve falling? तो इंडिया का फॉरेन जो एक्सचेंज रिजर्व है वो फॉल क्यों कर रहा है? ओके, सो देर आर रीजंस. सो दे आर सेइंग दैट द रीजन इज प्राइमरीली लिंक्ड टू द स्टेप्स दैट आरबीआई हैज टेकन. ओके, now RBI officials, they have noted that the drop in forex reserve is due to the fall in dollar value of assets held by RBI. तो आरबीआई के पास जो एसेट्स हैं उनकी वैल्यू थोड़ी कम हो गई है इन टर्म्स ऑफ डॉलर. दैट्स व्हाई इंडियाज फॉरेक्स रिजर्व इज अपीयरिंग टू बी लेस. ओके, सो ये चीज नजर आ रही है. फॉर इंस्टेंस, इफ द पोर्शन ऑफ रिजर्व्स आर इन यूरोज, द यूरो डेप्रिशिएट्स अगेंस्ट द डॉलर. दिस वुड कॉज अ ड्रॉप इन द वैल्यू ऑफ फॉरेक्स रिजर्व, ठीक है ना. तो ये चीज है दैट इफ पोर्शन ऑफ रिजर्व आर इन यूरोज, अब यूरोज की वैल्यू मान लो कम हो रही है डॉलर के रिस्पेक्ट में, तो उसका असर जो है हमारे ऊपर दिखेगा कि ये नजर आएगा कि आरबीआईज एसेट्स हैज गॉन डाउन. आरबीआई का एसेट जो है वो कम हो रहा है, ठीक है ना. दिस इज द पॉइंट. अदर थिंग इज दिस द वैल्यू ऑफ करेंसी इज डिटरमिन्ड बाय द डिमांड ऑफ द करेंसी. ओके, when the supply of currency increases, its value drops. On the other hand, when demand of the currency increases, its value rises. So you must have heard the Federal Reserve has increased the rates. It means that investors are going to now invest in US economy. तो वो सारा पैसा इंडिया से लेके चले गए यूएस के अंदर. ओके, इट मीन्स दैट द डिमांड फॉर इंडियन रुपी हैज गॉन डाउन. इंडियन रुपी की डिमांड कम हो गई और यूएस डॉलर की डिमांड इंक्रीज हो गई. ओके, so this is the reason. So when the demand of Indian rupee depreciates and the demand of dollar increases, definitely it will reflect कि भी Indian rupee weak हो रहा है. This is the point. In this scenario, central bank, they determine the supply of currencies. इंडियन रुपी जब वीक होगा, सो आरबीआई इज गोइंग टू रिलीज डॉलर्स इन द इंटरनेशनल मार्केट. तो इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में आरबीआई क्या करेगा? डॉलर को रिलीज कर देगा. ओके, एंड इन दिस वे दैट डॉलर इज अरेंज प्राइमरीली फ्रॉम योर फॉरेक्स रिजर्व. वो सारा जो है आपका फॉरेक्स रिजर्व से ही आएगा. सो दिस इज हाउ दिस डिमांड सप्लाई, इट इज ऑल्सो गोइंग टू हैव इम्पैक्ट. नाउ देर इज अनदर एंगल दैट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड. देर इज हाई डिमांड टू इम्पोर्ट ऑयल. अब इंपोर्ट आपको करना पड़ रहा है. इंपोर्ट इज गेटिंग कॉस्टलियर एंड द पेमेंट ऑफ इंपोर्ट इज डन इन डॉलर. वो पेमेंट भी डॉलर में ही होगी. दिस ऑल्सो लेड टू द इंक्रीज इन डिमांड फॉर डॉलर. ओके, इस वजह से भी डॉलर का डिमांड इंक्रीज हो गया है. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, इफ यू लुक इन टू द इन्वेस्टर्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, सो देयर enthusiasm has also gone down. Why the enthusiasm has gone down? Because the US Federal Reserve, it has raised the interest rate. So investors are finding that instead of investing in India, it is good to invest in United States because US economy is bouncing back. कि US की economy जो है अब ठीक हो रही है, तो वहाँ जाके invest करते हैं. And it is not just in case of India, in other developed or developing countries, developed market as well, the same thing has been observed. तो आपका यूरो भी वीक हुआ है, येन भी वीक हुआ है, ये सब डेप्रिशिएट हुए हैं इन कंटेक्स्ट ऑफ डॉलर. सो दिस इज हाउ इट इज गोइंग टू बी एंड इट इज एक्सपेक्टेड दैट इन द कमिंग, यू कैन से मंथ्स, रूपी कैन डेप्रिशिएट फर्दर. रूपी जो है फर्दर डेप्रिशिएट हो सकता है. सो व्हेन योर करेंसी इज डेप्रिशिएटिंग, इट इज गोइंग टू हैव सम इम्पैक्ट. ओके, स्पेसिफिकली योर इंपोर्ट्स आर गेटिंग कॉस्टलियर and your exports are becoming more competitive. आपका exports more competitive हो जाएगा. Okay, so this is also the reason there are some plus and minuses. So import अगर महंगा होता है, import जो है costly होता है, तो this is not desirable. Okay, ये desirable नहीं है. And if the exports become competitive, it is desirable. Okay, so when your currency, you can say, is weakened down, it has both desirable and non-desirable consequences. तो ये चीज हमें मालूम होनी चाहिए, ठीक है ना. तो ये कुछ impact इसका होगा. So we'll move to the next part now. Now pardon and the remission, who grants them? Okay, so this is the major controversy which is going on. Supreme Court has reserved the order. They will look into whether the governor can refer the state government's advice for granting remission to life टू प्रेसिडेंट फॉर डिसीजन। अब ये चीज देखनी है कि गवर्नर की पावर कहां तक लिमिटेड है। सो अंडर द नॉर्मल स्टैट्यूट वी नो दिस फैक्ट दैट गवर्नर can refer a matter related to the bill or can reserve a bill passed by state legislature for the consultation of president। तो वो पावर तो डेफिनेटली जो है गवर्नर के पास होती है, बट नाउ द कोर्ट इज गोइंग टू एग्जामिन वेदर इन दिस केस इट शुड बी अलाउड और नॉट। सो यू शुड नो दिस। सो एन Pararivalam, he was a convict in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case, okay, and he was given life imprisonment। so जो है आपके एन Pararivalam वो ऑलरेडी लाइफ imprisonment पे हैं। so right now the Tamil Nadu government, it has suggested to the governor of Tamil Nadu that he should be released, कि भी वो जो है इनको pardon कर दें और release कर दिया जाए। So this is debate is going on that कि कितनी power इनके पास है, whether the governor can exercise this power। So you should know this। So normally the president has the power under Article 72 to consider a claim for pardon, remission, okay, and not the state governor। अब ये एक चीज आर्ग्यू की गई है कि right now the power to remit, okay, is not with the state governor, और जो है वो president के पास है। Earlier also court has said that, कह रहे हैं कि भी अगर आप 72 के अंदर ये claim कर रहे हो, so what about Article 161? So even under Article 161, governor is also having some power, okay। So they are saying, this additional solicitor general, he is saying that ऐसा तो नहीं चलेगा। now if it is declared that president can only, you can say, pardon or remit the punishment, then what will happen to those punishments which have been, you can say, pardoned or remit by the governor? जो आजादी के बाद से लेके अब तक आपके गवर्नर साहब माफी देते रहे हैं, उसका क्या होगा? That's the point। So under Article 72, the president can grant pardon, reprieve, respite, remit, okay, or suspend or commute the sentence। ये सब जो है आपके president साहब कर सकते हैं, including punishments under the court martial। अब ये difference हमें मालूम होना चाहिए। If there is a issue related to court martial, then the governor has no power। वहाँ सिर्फ president की power चलती है, ठीक है जी। And in all cases of death sentences, जहाँ पे मामला death sentence का है, वहाँ पे president काम करेगा। Under Article 161, the governor can grant pardon, reprieve, respite, remission of punishment, suspend, remit, commute of sentence, okay, under law on matter which comes under the state executive power। तो जहां पे स्टेट एग्जीक्यूटिव पावर रखती है, उन मामलों में जो है आपके गवर्नर साहब ये सब सजाएं माफ कर सकते हैं या फिर ये चीजें कर सकते हैं। Now you should be knowing this part. These all are the constitutional arrangements, but apart from that there are some statutory arrangements as well। So यहाँ पे constitutional power होगी Article 72 और Article 161 के अंदर। अब मामला आता है statutory powers का। So you have Code of Criminal Procedure which provides for remission of prison sentences, which means the whole or a part of sentence may be cancelled। अब आपके पास है section 432 which says that appropriate government may suspend or remit a sentence in whole or in a part with or without conditions। सजा माफ करने का प्रावधान section 432 के अंदर CRPC भी देता है। This is the point। Next is this power is available to the state governments as well। ये तो state government के पास भी power है। And under this power right now the Tamil Nadu government is suggesting it to the governor, okay। Then you have section 433 that any sentence may be commuted to a lesser one by the appropriate government। ये भी allowed है। Now there is another interesting point। There is section 435 of CRPC which says that if a prisoner had been sentenced in a case investigated by CBI or any agency that probed the offender under the Central Act, the state government can order such release only in consultation with the central government। कि उस मामले में स्टेट गवर्नमेंट रिलीज ऑर्डर करेगा तो वो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की कंसल्टेशन में करेगा। दैट्स द पॉइंट विच हैज बीन मेड। अब इसी चीज का मामला लेके जो है ये पूरा चीज अटकी हुई है एंड गवर्नर हैज रेफर्ड दिस मैटर टू द प्रेसिडेंट। सो कोर्ट इज गोइंग टू एग्जामिन भी कौन सा पावर ऊपर जाएगा, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल पावर ऊपर जाएगा या स्टैट्यूटरी पावर ऊपर जाएगा? Because if we go by the statutory arrangement, then under section 435, अब देखो क्यों, क्योंकि ये जो मामला है राजीव गांधी असैसिनेशन का, इसमें सेंट्रल एजेंसीज ने ही काम किया होगा, ठीक है ना. सो दिस इज व्हाट दे आर सेइंग, दिस इज व्हाट दे आर सेइंग, that in this particular matter definitely the action has to be taken by the central and the consultation of central government will be required. So this is what court is going to examine कि भी constitutional चीज ऊपर जाएगी या फिर जो है आपका statutory arrangement ऊपर जाएगा. Now in Maru Ram versus Union of India case, the Supreme Court said section 432 and section 433 are not manifestation of article 72 or 161. So they have also said that these powers are different, कि ये जो CRPC के अंडर पावर है ये बिल्कुल अलग है, ठीक है ना. So this is how the things which are there. In this case, the Constitution Bench upheld the validity of Section 433A of CRPC, which was introduced in 1978 to prevent the premature release of life convicts before they spend 14 years of jail. तो इसलिए बोला जाता है कि 14 साल की मिनिमम जेल जो है जिनको लाइफ इम्प्रिजनमेंट मिलती है वो दी जाती है. ओके, सो दिस इज द होल थिंग दैट शुड बी नोन टू यू. तो ये पूरा मामला है जो आपको समझना है. सो द कोर्ट इज गोइंग टू एक्सप्लेन कि क्या इसका फ्यूचर होगा, तो वेट एंड वॉच कीजिए, 1-2 दिन रुकिए, थिंग्स विल बी क्लियर. ओके, सो रूबल ट्रेड, लंका क्राइसिस एड द टी एक्सपोर्ट. ओके, so rupee ruble trade means that ruble is the currency of Russia. So right now the sanctions have been imposed on Russia. Russia के ऊपर लगे हुए हैं sanctions. Okay, it means that sanctions was imposed by United States and dollar is the most promising currency. तो अब sanction Russia के ऊपर लगे, it means that Russia cannot carry forward the trade in dollar, कि भी डॉलर में रशिया ट्रेड नहीं कर सकता. अब डॉलर में ट्रेड नहीं करता तो दे आर एक्सप्लोरिंग द ऑल्टरनेटिव. वन ऑफ द ऑल्टरनेटिव इज दिस, दैट द ट्रेड शुड बी अलाउड इन रूपी एंड रूबल. रूपी और रूबल के अंदर ट्रेड जो है वो करने का वो सोच रहे हैं. दिस इज कॉल्ड रूपी रूबल ट्रेड. ओके, सो ऑल दीज डेवलपमेंट्स इट इज गोइंग टू हेल्प द लाइक टी एक्सपोर्ट्स, बिकॉज रशिया इज मेजर इंपोर्टर ऑफ टी फ्रॉम इंडिया. और सबसे बड़ा नुकसान क्या हुआ था कि बिकॉज ऑफ दिस क्राइसिस हमें लग रहा था कि हमारा टी एक्सपोर्ट जो है वो इम्पैक्ट होगा, बट राइट नाउ दे आर एक्सप्लोरिंग दैट द ट्रेड विल बी कैरिड आउट इन रूपी एंड रूबल. सो दिस इज व्हाट दे आर एक्सप्लोरिंग. सो दैट्स इट फॉर द डे देन. थैंक यू वेरी मच.